Montego Bay businesswoman killed at home. A Montego Bay businesswoman was killed at her Bogue Village home in St. James about 7:30 a.m. Sunday. The deceased, 52-year-old Althea Graham Dolly, a former personal banker, was shot multiple times by unknown assailants. She was transported to the Conroe Regional Hospital, where she later died. Reports indicated that Graham Dolly was leaving her home to attend church when the attack occurred. Back-to-back earthquakes felt in Jamaica. Two back-to-back earthquakes were felt in Jamaica on Sunday morning. The earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies, Mona, says a moderate earthquake of preliminary magnitude 5.6 located approximately 152 kilometers north of Ocheroya, St. Anne, was reportedly felt at 10:50 a.m. It had a focal depth of 14.6 kilometers and was reportedly felt across several parishes. Meanwhile, another earthquake was felt about 11:50 a.m. The earthquake unit says the strong earthquake of preliminary magnitude 6.5 was located approximately 150 kilometers north of Ocheroya, St. Anne. It was also felt across several parishes. Cops kill 3 out east. The police in East Kingston have put a dent in a suspected robbery ring in the area after officers on parole shot and killed 3 men on Windward Road early Sunday morning. All 3, 2 of whom were teenagers, were from East Kingston addresses. A police corporal was reportedly shot in the leg during a shootout with the men, while 2 firearms with several rounds of ammunition were seized following the encounter. A 48-hour curfew was in effect in the area at the time of the shooting. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Friday and ended 6 p.m. Sunday. Superintendent of Police Tammy Chambers, who heads the Kingston East Police Division, told reporters on Sunday that the men were specifically from the Rockfort and Rollington town areas within her division. The young men, who have been identified as 17-year-old laborer Ocean Stubbs, otherwise known as Moonhead, 20-year-old delivery man Keishon Smith, otherwise known as Bim Max, and 19-year-old car wash attendant Abanda Campbell. My team was traveling on Windward Road when men aroused their suspicion and the police team stopped and alighted from their unit and gave verbal instructions to the men. After doing that, the men pulled their firearms and opened gunfire at the police team, Chambers noted. The police took evasive action and returned fire. After the gunfire subsided, all 3 men were observed with gunshot wounds. 2 firearms were seen beside them. Chambers said based on feedback, the men have been terrorizing residents and wreaking havoc for a period of time in the Jackson Road, Rollington Town and Windward Road space. I can't say if they were affiliated with any gang in particular. They were not on our wanted list. However, a series of events that have been taking place on the Windward Road Strip for a period of time, people have been reporting that they have been robbed coming from the automated teller machine ATM. Based on intelligence we have been picking up, they might be persons who would watch people who use the machine, Chambers noted. Police statistics show that robberies have increased in the division by 19.2% this year compared to the corresponding period last year. From January 1 to November 9, a total of 31 robberies were recorded in the division compared to 26 robberies from January to November 2023. Government to buy lands bordering Mobe Perimeter Road. The government is moving to purchase land on the periphery that is under construction, 14.9-kilometer Montego Bay Perimeter Road, in an effort to keep squatters at bay. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Strong referred the initiative on Friday. There are huge acres of land on the border of the Perimeter Road, which, unless planned now, and I am in fact in discussion with National Housing Trust about acquiring those properties, because unless they are planned for now, for today and tomorrow, one, I guarantee that within the next 5 years another member of parliament will come here complaining about squatting and the challenge it poses in trying to find money to correct the problem, he noted. He was delivering the keynote address at the World Town Planning Day 2024 conference at Montego Bay Conventional Centre in St. James. Dr. Chang is also a member of parliament for St. James Northwestern, and sections of the bypass run through his constituency. He blamed a lack of foresight in planning, when the existing highway was conceived for traffic snares that now plague Montego Bay. I started discussing this idea with my good friend Kenzie Thomas some 20 years back, Dr. Chung noted. Had it been built then, we would not have the congestion we now experience in Montego Bay. The cost would have been half the price, and if it was done, it would get Montego Bay traffic in some kind of order. So it comes back to the whole question of planning, he added. Dr. Chung urged stakeholders engaged in various aspects of urban planning to develop a system that is tailored to the needs of Jamaicans. One of the things I ask for is that our planners and those who are involved in planning, architects and civil engineers, need to adopt a Jamaican philosophy, he appealed. Collectivism is something I detest, and therefore I don't like copy. This is one of the things that we need to do, and I urge the planners to look at our environment, our physical layout, our people's culture, the opportunities for development, the politician added. He also stressed that there is a need to look at the legal framework as efforts are made to curb squatting, which has plagued the country for years. We have to look at what legislation fits Jamaica's situation today. It needs some thinking through. It needs some discussion with the planners, with the security forces, with all the stakeholders in the society, the commerce individuals, but involves a framework of planning, of legislation that controls planning effectively, Dr. Chang noted. And if that philosophy is in place and you have the legal framework to operate, the day the squatters move there, they know that they have to move, he added. World Town Planning Day 2024 was held under the theme Unpacking the Urban Planning Nexus with Tourism and Sustainable Development. Work began on the Montego Bay Perimeter Road project in 2019, and despite initial delays caused by the relocation of people living on the road, the project is expected to be completed in 2026. Breast cancer rising among women, aged 35 to 44, doctor urges early detection. Consultant obstetrician and gynecologist Dr. Milton Hardy is urging Jamaican women to seek early screening for breast cancer due to a rise in cases, particularly among those aged 35 to 44. Dr. Hardy made this disclosure at a recent forum focused on breast cancer and other critical illness held at the S Hotel in Kingston. In a press release on Friday, Dr. Hardy highlighted that 1 in 8 Jamaican women is at risk of developing breast cancer, which is among the highest rates globally. He recommended early detection as the most effective approach to combating the disease, including breast self-examination for indicators such as lumps or nipples discharge, along with mammograms and ultrasound scans. If detected at the 0 stage, there would be complete recovery, while there is a good chance of full recovery at stage 2 of the condition. The risk is most acute at stages 3 and 4, Hardy noted. The release cited studies by the American Society of Clinical Oncology published in the JCO Global Oncology Journal in 2020, which analyzed breast cancer mortality between 2010 and 2014. These studies found that breast cancer remains the leading cause of cancer-related deaths among Jamaican women, with 1,634 breast cancer-related deaths documented among Jamaican women between 2010 and 2014, accounting for 24% of all female cancer deaths. The report further noted that the age-standardized breast cancer mortality rate rose from 21.8 per 100,000 in 2010 and 28 per 100,000 in 2014 among the total female population. It also highlighted that the highest annual percentage change in breast cancer mortality was observed in the 35 to 44 and 65 to 75 years old in that age group, indicating an earlier age of onset than previously reported. Dr. Hardy also pointed out that with advantages of medical technology, less invasive treatments are being developed. For instance, you can remove a molecular lump. It can be performed before the cancer spread, reducing the need for mastectomy or full breast removal. He observed that Jamaican women tend to have denser breast tissue, which has been linked to a higher incidence of cancer. Dr. Hardy also noted that men should perform self-checks as an estimated 1% of Jamaican males are affected by breast cancer. Forum convener and insurance advisor Dallas Campbell echoed the importance of early detection and encouraged attendees to protect themselves from high cancer treatment costs by purchasing health insurance such as the New Guardian Ultimate Provider Plan. This critical illness policy offers both investment option and financial assistance with a minimum assured sum of $3 million. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.